Good show. Good show. Hi, Kurt. Nice to see you.
Morning.
Morning. Your picture's very still. I don't know if that's you or if it's a picture. Well, I mean, it's there you are. Okay, there we go. Good to
Yeah,
see
had to move my camera around a little bit.
you. Okay. Hi, Natalie. Hey, Helen.
Hello.
Morning.
Good group. We have a couple more people popping in here. I don't know. Oh, who's coming in from Family Pathways? Um, is that Tony maybe? All right, well, we will get started, and Bob, if you would continue, and Michelle to watch the waiting room so that everybody comes on, gets in. I appreciate you all for being here. It is Tony. Good to see you, Tony.
Good morning.
Morning. We have a big meeting this morning, and I don't want to go, over my time, but I want to be able to share with you some information that we've put together over the period of time that the RTCC has been in process since 2018. So, but we're not going to go through every survey, the whole thing. I just have a specific thing that I want to make sure that you all get information about. But to begin with, I did see that Tim is here, and in order to make this an official meeting, would you, Tim, please be able to call the meeting to order?
Good morning, everyone. Let's call the meeting to order.
All right, well, I like our informality, but Tim is our co-chair, Tim Schmutzer. So let's do something here. If everybody could put their name and information in the chat, that will then allow me to have a list of who's all here, because I'll save the chat. But we could do quick introductions here before we get started, because we have a large group, and I think there are people here that don't know one another. So I'll just go through my screen here, and if you would not mind, please put your camera on, and we'll do an introduction. I'm going to start with Bob Voss, who's just right there on the corner of my screen, and I see him first. So Bob, would you please go ahead?
Yeah, good morning, everybody. I'm Bob Voss. I'm the Executive Director at the East Central Regional Development Commission, and the RTCC is one of our proud programs there. So welcome, everybody.
Thanks, Bob. Barbara Feeders, nice to see you. Do you want to just say good morning, say why you're here?
Yeah, good morning. Well, I had contacted some people in the county about the transportation because I had have a temporary need to get some assistance after some injuries. So I've had some firsthand experience of how and what's happening across the borders with the counties and what a person has to do from my perspective here to get some transportation. So Karen invited me here. So again, my name is Barbara.
I was so glad to have you. We're so glad to have you here, Barbara. Hope you can stay on for, I know you have to leave early, but like I had mentioned before, this will be recorded, so you can pick up whatever you miss on the recording afterwards. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Ellen, hello, hello. Uh-oh. What are you doing, Helen?
I'm sorry, I didn't recognize my name. Does that tell you? Well, that should tell you something. I'm Helen. I'm with Kanabec County Timber Trails, and we have the buses and the volunteer driver program, and I will share with you in a little while what we're doing with some CMCOA transportation this year.
Excellent. Thanks, Helen. Kurt Kopp, how are you?
Good morning. Oh, just wonderful. My name's Kurt Kelk, and I'm the Health and Human Services Facilities Director for the Mille Lacs Band of Ojibwe. And right now we're in the midst of reorganization for our transportation department, and we have huge need and ability to provide transportation for Lax band members. We span multiple counties across central Minnesota here. Yeah, so we're just I'm here to learn and kind of get a feel for what we got going on.
Wonderful. Good to have you here, Kurt. Michelle, hello. You want to give a little hello and introduction?
Sure. Yeah, good morning. I'm Michelle Thomas with the East Central Regional Development Commission and the ECRTCC. I work on multiple projects, but the transportation is 50% of my time. So we're glad that you're all here. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks, Michelle. Tony, hello, Tony.
Good morning again. Tony Buttacavoli, Executive Director at Family Pathways. We're kind of a regional community nonprofit that I'd say our three baskets of programming are food access, which includes food shelves, doorstep delivery. We also have domestic violence, sexual assault services, and a shelter. And then our third program area is aging services, where we provide homemakers out in the community and caregiver consultants. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thanks, Tony. Hi, Michelle Lichtig.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Michelle Lichtig, and I'm with MnDOT and project manager for the mobility managers.
Thank you. Hi, Natalie. How you doing?
Doing good, thanks. Natalie Mathewson. I'm the Community Development Supervisor with Central Minnesota Council on Aging. We're one of the 6 area agencies on aging in Minnesota. We cover 14 counties in the central part of the state. So some of our core areas is we have the senior linkage line. So we house staff with the senior linkage line, although it is statewide as well. We do funding for Older Americans Act Title III, programming for older adults and caregivers, and then I work on our community development team.
Awesome, Natalie. Thank you. Hi, Linnell.
Good morning, Karen. I'm Linnell Popusky from the Northwest RTCC. Good to be here.
Glad to have you. Tammy, if you can, I know you've got your hands full. Are you available? Just
yeah,
hey,
I'm here. I'm on. So sorry, I am actually listening in on phones today. We have staff out, but I am the volunteer driver program manager at TRICAP.
Awesome. Thanks, Tammy. And Tim, you welcomed us all here, but why don't you just do a quick little intro?
Well, hi again, and I'm Tim Schmutzer. I work with Phase Industries. We are a provider in East Central Minnesota, serving students and adults with usually intellectual or developmental disabilities in employment supports, transportation, and community life supports.
Excellent. Thanks, Tim. Hi, Terry.
Hi, Karen. I'm Terry Smith with the Mid-Minnesota Development Commission, RTCC. We serve Candy, Ohio, Meeker, Renville, and McLeod counties.
Great. I have Terry's phone next to you.
Yeah, that. Oh my God. I'm Terry here. I'm the mayor of Quamba.
Oh, Terry, I didn't even recognize you. It's nice to see you. Your hair looks different.
Yeah, me too.
Awesome. Good to see you.
Yeah.
Nate, I know that you had mentioned that you're on a lot of
You
calls,
too.
but are you available to just say hi? No. Nate's the mayor of Bram, and he oh, there he is.
Hey, just had to click my buttons and mute the other people. So sorry about that. Yeah, hi everyone. I'm the mayor of Bram. Glad to be able to make it on the call today. 9 o'clock on Thursday mornings is kind of tough, but wanted to try to make this one today. So thank you. I'll
Great.
be mostly in chat. So if I don't respond, just shoot me a message in chat and I'll see it there.
Okay, thanks, Nate. Angela. She's on the phone as well. There you are.
Hello. Yes, I'm on the phone.
Do you want to do a little intro?
Yes, I'm Angela Damagala from Attaboys Transport. I'm just a dispatcher here in Sandstone, Minnesota. We serve the Pine County and surrounding areas all throughout Minnesota.
Excellent. Thanks for being here, Angela.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Ann Larkin, you're a newbie.
Hi, Ann Walter from the Anoka County Transit Office, and I oversee our Transit Link contractor, and then we're also a TCAP. Thank you.
Glad to have you, Ann. Hi, Mike. How are you doing today?
Good morning, Mike Moylan, Director of Planning and Project Management for the Mille Lacs Band.
Nice to have you. Thanks, Mike. Mark Schermerhorn.
Good morning, everybody. Mark Schermerhorn, Anoka County Transit. As Ann mentioned, we are a TCAP, and along with that, we have a MedLink volunteer driver program and then a commute solutions program. So thanks for having us.
Yeah, glad to have you here. Hi, Sarah.
Sorry, I have two cats staring at me waiting to be fed. I'm Sarah Triber. I'm on the ECRDC board, and I also work for Mille Lacs Corporate Ventures doing housing development.
Thank you, Sarah. Nice to have you here. Ryan Palmer.
Hey, I'm Ryan. I am income maintenance supervisor in Chisago County. Not entirely sure how I ended up on this call, other than I think maybe Amy used to be on it, and Amy has left our county. So we have a bit of a transportation vacuum in this county that we're hoping to resolve. So just kind of wanted to be part of this situation to see what some options may end up being for us.
I like your terminology of a transportation vacuum. Okay, I get it. I know. Thanks, Ryan. Denise, hi.
Hi, I'm Denise Stewart from Lakes and Pines Community Action Council, and we provide services for low-income residents in our community.
Thank you for being here. Beverly, hi.
Hi, Beverly Silitoliver with the Arrowhead RTCC and the Arrowhead Regional Development Commission.
Welcome. Glad to have you here, Beverly. Barbara Willard, hi. Good morning.
Good morning. I am Barbara Willard. I am the Director of Transit Operations for TRICAP, and I oversee the public transportation for our 5-county service area.
Excellent. Glad to have you here. Thank you. Hi, Melissa.
Good morning. Melissa Maringo, MTM Operations Manager.
Thank you. Glad to have you here.
Glad to be here.
I'm going to push the button and see who else we have. Marlis. Hi, Marlis.
Yeah, good morning. I'm just getting my camera turned on here. So yeah, my name is Marlis Dunn. I am here wearing 2 hats. I'm currently a Chisago County Commissioner, serving on my 4th year. And then I'm also here representing the Chisago Lakes Good Neighbors Club, specifically regarding our adoptive grandparent program, who is constantly running into transportation issues for our seniors.
Yeah, thank you, Marlis. Glad to have you here.
Thank you.
Hi, Rhonda.
Hello, Rhonda Torgerson, TRICAP Transportation, and I'm the Fleet Operations Manager.
Thank you. Good to have you. Rebecca.
Hi, good morning. Rebecca Perotti with Central Minnesota Jobs and Training Services, Business Service Coordinator. And of course, we work with job seekers and businesses and hoping to connect them. So transportation can be really helpful for that. And of course, is a big barrier for a lot of our participants. And I guess my camera must be stuck in my laptop. I had it open earlier, so I'm sorry about that, but glad to be here.
We're all used to the little glitches that we have. Thank you, Rebecca. Hi, Brandon.
Hello, Brandon Nermy. I'm with Arrowhead Transit.
Good to have you here. I think we got everybody. Did I miss anyone? Wow, great group. Thank you all for being here today. Well, all right. So we went through our introductions. That's all great. Like I said, if you wouldn't mind putting your information in the chat, that's helpful as well. I have everything here on PDF, Acrobat, so hopefully it'll all work well today. And if you have any questions during the period of that time that I'm talking, just either interrupt me or raise your hand. Michelle and Bob are kind of keeping an eye on things, so if you don't want to interrupt me, they will. And Michelle, please interject wherever you wish, obviously, because this is your meeting too. So I wanted to share with you one thing that we did over a 10-week period of time that many of you realize that we did this ILT, meaning I Like That Academy. And we learned a lot there to work on a specific project or issue. And most of you also realize that our top priority for the local human services transit coordination plan that we did in 2022, the top priority was filling gaps and transit stations, transferring people from one service to another so people can travel further. So I just wanted to quickly show you where we are with that. But before I do that, and one of the things that we did was a 90-day roadmap. So I want to show you where we are with this roadmap. And we'll be adjusting things as we go and changing and adding, but we're kind of using that as sort of a pathway of you know what we're doing, what our day-to-day work is. The Thriving Communities grant that allowed us to be able to go to the ILT Academy. Part of this is the Moving Greater Minnesota Forward cohort. I guess I should have said that that's what allowed us to be able to go to the ILT Academy through MnDOT. So we have a Thriving Communities grant that MnDOT has applied for, and we expect to hear some more about that in March. And that's a planning and technology grant. And then MnDOT has also submitted an application to the state for a technology modernization fund to expand and extend the mobility as a service, which is also called MAAS, M-A-A-S, Mobility as a Service project with a transit app to be able to expand that to Greater Minnesota. And the funding will be known about that in the next few months. So we realize that we've got to catch up and, get the service out there so people can have an app on their phone to be able to create a trip plan to get from here to there. But it's a big process because our transit providers all have different service software, and it's just kind of there's a lot to it. So it's going to take some time, but it's on the radar, and it's being worked on in Southwest and along the west side of Minnesota currently. So let me quickly go down to this 90-day roadmap. I'm going to see if I can expand this a little bit bigger. So these are some of the things that we got out of the ILT Academy. And this will, like I've said to you before, is all recorded, so you'll be able to pick this all up, and I can send you this PDF as well. So to begin with, we need to get accurate maps of the provider's routes and service design and examine the gaps. So and this all has to do with expanding service and building these transfer stations or places. They don't necessarily need to be built, so to speak, as like but they just need to be a location, such as a Dollar General or a Coborn's or something, a City Hall or a place a person can go to wait for a bus that is warm inside in the wintertime. So So we did these surveys, and that's something we've closed the surveys, and now I want to present that to you. So that's on the roadmap, and that's what we're going to do today. We have been working on a logo for it, and you'll see that in a minute. And we're still refining that. We will be hopefully working with MnDOT for some transit consultation, possibly, but that's still kind of in the works. And we want to make sure that we build really strong relationships with our public providers, having positive discussions and simplifying the process that we wish to have as far as building these transfer stations. We don't want it to be a burden on anyone. We want to make it easy for the providers and the riders. And that's first and foremost, because nobody's going to use it if it's not something that is smooth and seamless. Although to begin with, you know, it's a new thing, but you know, we want to work together with our providers. So that's kind of where we're at right now. And I'm going to move along here, but does anybody have any questions regarding what I've presented to you so far? Okay, not hearing anything. I'm going to move on to our first slide, maybe. Okay, there we go. So this is our 2024 report on the needs assessment of destination transfer stations. So as you can see here, this is our little logo that we made, and it may be doing some adjustments, but it's got our little T that we designed up for the ECRTCC on there, and it, you know, it kind of encompasses what we're trying to do. So, and okay, wow, all right. So I didn't. Okay, let me see if I can make this bigger. I'm not really good at Adobe. I don't think I'm going to try anything. Oh wait, maybe I'll do this. I'll shrink it a little bit. Yeah, then I can get the whole thing on the screen. Okay, moving on. So here's a St. Cloud Metro bus station. And so, you know, I suppose this would be a place where transfers can be made. And you know, this is a standalone place, and that's what it's used for. But until we know that we have definitely found an absolute need for this and that people will use it, we're not ready to be building standalone stations yet. I might not be too far down the pike, but we had a 30-second pitch that we designed up, Michelle and I, from the ILT Academy, and I'd like to just quickly read it to you right now. This is kind of the pitch that goes along with this whole transit dots, the destination transfer stations. Here we go. As healthy living is something we all strive for, public transportation is imperative for many in our rural communities to thrive. To achieve this, often transit riders need to travel further than their public transit system offers. Destination transfer stations offer a rural rider the ability to transfer to a subsequent transit service, allowing them to reach an extended destination. Unlike current Greater Minnesota transportation systems that do not meet up, these destination transfer stations provide a place for services to connect with each other, to drop off and pick up riders, making it an economical way to travel. So that's sort of the whole idea in a nutshell, and I just wanted to make sure that you understood that that's what we're striving. All right, moving on. Whoops. All right, so this is a compilation of 6 unique surveys. They all were different. They all did not all focus on one specific thing, but each one of them did have an iteration of, can you reach your destination? So we started them in 2018. Some of them continued on, you know, for a period of time. We had Northern Mille Lacs County one. We had a Vineland area one. then the LCP one in 2022. And then there were 2 done for Arrowhead and Chisago and in Isani. And then most recently, we did a public transportation user survey. Excuse me. And that was our headline question was, can you get where you need to go? So there were 256 responses to the surveys, and it covered the counties of Pine, Isani, Chisago, Kanabec, and Mille Lacs. I just need to catch up with myself here. So the ECRTCC has been aware of the issue since the beginning of the organization in 2018. These 6 unique surveys have been distributed throughout the region to learn of general transportation issues. But within each survey, the question of traveling further or the ability for a rider to reach a destination has been included. So I want to give you okay, so this is a unique situation. Most regions don't have 3 separate transit providers. Now, ours don't overlap, often don't even come in contact with one another. Now, I know it's been tried and hasn't really come to fruition and it hasn't really worked, but I'm hoping that with the RTCC's help, we can make this work. We'll do a lot of promoting of it, and we're going to take it slowly using people who we feel will give us positive or critical feedback that will help us to grow it versus people who will, try it and have a possible negative interaction with it. We are working with ILT on this as we move along, and I think they're going to give us some good feedback. So now we know.
Marla, Karen, excuse me, Marlis has a question.
Okay.
Thank you. So you identified 3 public transit providers. I'm very familiar with Arrowhead. Who do you consider the other 2 providers?
Timber Trails is in Kanabec County, and TriCap is Mille Lacs County, and then they have a lot of other counties too. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, Anoka and Washington counties border our southern area, our southern part of our region, which is why I invited them here today. And we will be working with them in order to get folks down into the Twin Cities. And I believe that we have a common passion for making this happen. So we're excited to be moving forward with them. Anyway, I'm going to move on to the next one. So this is a map of our service area right now. And I'm going to move to the next because okay, here we go. This is TriCap's area in our region. So TriCap covers Mille Lacs County. Now this area here, may or may not, I don't believe is in service right now, but I believe they've got some service that's coming down into the Sherburne County area. I do not have an up-to-date map, and I'm anxious to get an up-to-date map from them. But my point is that there's these gaps in between here. So that's my point I'm trying to make in this meeting today. So then we move down into the next slide. We have Timber Trails, which is Kanabec County's transportation service, and they span 10 miles outside of the boundaries of the city of Mora. So we have a lot more of Kanabec County that they're not covering, but I know they're working, and Helen will give us a quick update on that too as soon as I get done here. So this is Timber Trails public service area. And then we have Arrowhead down in this region, and in Isani and Chisago counties, and in Pine counties. And then they, of course, go up into the Arrowhead region. They have a very, very large area. and they're new to Chisago and Isani counties. So, well, not new, but I mean, they're the newest in the region. So, yeah, there we go. So although it looks like that many of the transit providers do touch one another, they actually, there's little areas where they don't connect. Because in rural Minnesota, as we know, there may not be any place in there where they can connect, which means that, I mean, along that border. So they may have to come into or go out of their county in order to find a place where they could make this connection. MnDOT requires transit services to have a plan, service plan in place that they're budgeted to stay within the realm that they have, made this plan with MnDOT for. And going outside of that can be very detrimental to the service provider because it's kind of going against the rules. And so we don't want to break any rules, but if it might be possible, we want to do and figure out how we can adjust things so that maybe they can go a little bit further into another county, in and out of another county to get to the certain destination, this transfer station. So we have thought about the Coborns and Isandi being one, the City Hall in Bram possibly being one, or a Dollar General in Ogilvy being one. But we have to figure out how this will work because this is going over some TRICAP. Can they come into Kanabec County and go into Ogilvy? This is stuff that we need to work on together. So, hold on, I need to catch up again. Take a breath. Okay, so when we asked the question, and you'll see on the bottom right-hand corner, the ECRTCC 2023 Public Transportation User Survey, which is our most recent survey that we did, this is what we found. Now, as you see, 100% of the people in Arrowhead want to travel further. Isani County, we had 92% said that they wanted to go further. TRICAP 78%, Timber Trails 81%, and Pine County 100%. So, not saying anything's wrong with the services that they have. It's just that they want to be able to go further. They want to be able to transfer to another a provider or to be able to get to another destination. Why? They need to get the medical appointments, say in the cities, or they don't have volunteer drivers that are available for non-NEMT rides. And an NEMT ride, for those of you who aren't aware of, this is a non-emergency medical transportation, meaning it's not an ambulance. So volunteer drivers tend to just, in our region, do NEMT rides, and those are covered through insurance. And if you're doing a non-NEMT ride, most likely it's private pay, you pay for it in some way or another, or the volunteer driver is just doing it, there aren't any NEMT rides, non-NEMT rides currently. The cost of a private taxi is cost prohibitive for most public transit riders. We had a little story about that. A woman needed to get down to Bram, and it was going to cost her, Michelle, how much was it for round trip to get to Bram, or not Bram, to Blaine?
No, she was going from Mora, or she still is, every 6 weeks from Mora to Blaine, for an eye doctor appointment that she needs. Her eyes are getting bad. She's getting older and having issues. And so, one quote for a private transportation was $340 and the other one was $168. So she's willing to pay, for a ride, but that's just out of her budget. At the moment, she's on a fixed income, so.
Yeah. So we've got a real issue going on there. We haven't been able to find a solution for her, but we're working on it possibly through maybe some Lions would be able to help, because I know that they do focus on visual impairment and that kind of thing. So we also know that rideshare is not established in the region. We don't have Uber and Lyft yet. Maybe when the train comes through, we'll maybe get some of that. I don't know. So, let me see here. Hold on. Need to catch up again. So, again, we're still on the same survey. So 86% of the survey respondents in the state that they need to go further than they can currently travel on public transit that's available. St. Cloud was the most sought after destination at 45%, followed by Cambridge, Mora, Forest Lake, and Princeton. And we were told that they would use it a couple times a month, once a month. And then some said that they would use it every day. They need it when their car breaks down, if the weather's bad, during the summer school for students, daily, Monday through Friday, and when needed. So these are the surveys that we did. Like I said, these are the responses that we got. 35 responses. I know it doesn't seem like a lot, but a lot of this was one-on-one, especially the most recent survey that we did was mostly, speaking to people one-on-one and actually having a conversation about it. So with the Arrowhead survey, I'm just going to quickly go through these. There were 35 responses. This was in Chisago County. How many people? There were 35 respondents. Yes, always have a problem, 31%, sometimes 57%, and never 11%. These are the places that they wanted to go in order. So Wyoming, North Branch, Connect Metro, Chisago, Stacy, Rush City, and there were avid requests for Cambridge and Forest Lake. Their ages, 26 to 65 was the highest group in that survey. They needed to get to medical appointments, to run errands, shopping. And again, 54% would use the expanded service, and 63% said they'd had family or friends that would use it. When? Mostly Mondays and Wednesday. And, still up there. I mean, we're just trying to figure out what would be the best times and days to do this. We did a pilot program. I mean, when would we want to set this up for? The time would be 9 to noon is the highest one here. I didn't put it in order. Sorry. Without that, what do they do to get anywhere? 31% don't go, but 71% can ride with somebody else. But, it kind of gets old after a while having to ask somebody to help you out, but luckily there are people that do that help. And 47% would need a wheelchair lift and 53% need walker assistance. So that's another reason for the public transit to be involved in this, because they're all ADA accessible. The Santa County one, I want to go through these quickly, but sometimes was the highest, was 48%, where they said they couldn't get where they needed to go. Their ages, the highest group was 26 to 65. And shopping, running errands, medical appointments, and work. Times, Monday and Tuesday. But the rest of the days are still pretty high. And 9 to noon was the highest. Must be, maybe people needing to get out in the morning and get to work. And then if they don't have that, what do they do? Well, 70% again go with somebody else. Again, we need the ADA assistance. And then the LCP plan, same questions. Do you have problems? 48 said yes, 52% said no. And this is where they said they needed to go. Cambridge to Anoka County, Cambridge, Princeton, Forest Lake, out of town, Mora to Malacca to Mora. And you know, I don't know that like I said, maybe not everybody's really interested in what this has to say, but it's very focused toward the providers. So, I mean, I feel like we've made a bit of a case for what we need here, that we need to proceed further. Shopping and errands, medical appointments, and work were the highest. Granted, it doesn't look like work is too high on this one, but there are others that would differ. I'm gonna just keep on moving through here. Again, we need ADA accessibility. I actually rode on a bus with a fellow who was blind, and it was a great experience for him. I mean, he did it every day. So by county here, Mille Lacs County, what public transit service do you primarily use? Of course, it was TriCap. Mille Lacs County, do you have trouble getting where? Yes, 78%. This is the survey, like I said, that we just recently did. So where do you need to go? Now, when it comes to St. Cloud, this is going to be a little bit of an issue because there is a gap there, but you know, that's something else we want to continue to work on. These are the reasons why they need to go and how often. And then we went into Arrowhead. That's, you know, Pine County. They always have issues getting where they need to go. And this is where and how they, you know, how many would use it if they had the opportunity. And this is the service that they primarily use in Isanti County, Timber Trails, and Arrowhead. How often? These are the places they want to go from Isanti County. And how often they'd use it. People got excited when they heard that this was a possibility. And then Arrowhead was 100% at Chisago County. And we had 10 responses and they all said yes. They always had issues getting to further destinations. This is where they want to go from Chisago County. And we did have a large number of people wanting to go to Forest Lake. They would use it this often. 40% would use it twice a month. Timber Trails at Caneva County, 71%. Others relied on family volunteer drivers, and sometimes, you know, obviously if they have their own vehicle. Caneva County, 81% have problems getting to where they need to go as far as the further destination. This is where they want to go. And how many and how often would they use it? Once a month was the highest. Weekends were requested, but you know, can't change the world here. Northern Mille Lacs County, they wanted to go from Malacca to St. Cloud from noon to 3 on Wednesdays and Fridays. And then this was the Vineland area survey that we did. And then just Northern Mille Lacs in general, Malacca to Princeton was the highest. Noon to 3 was the highest on Wednesdays. I mean, it's something that maybe we can do to put something in place. You know, we have an idea. So I just wanted to mention that only one of these surveys was solely dedicated to investigating the gaps in service information. Most of the survey answers were not monitored to be completed by all the responders. And we reserve the right to be able to illustrate the presentation with complete details on SurveyMonkey. This is all there on SurveyMonkey. So if anybody wants to know more, learn more about this, we'd be happy to have a meeting with you about it.
Karen, could I make a comment? This is
Yeah.
Helen at Timber Trails.
I'd love that. Yep.
I really love all this information. It's fantastic, and I really appreciate the work that you guys have done in this. The thing that I see that concerns me the most is we're looking at requests that are a couple of times a month. That's not a need that we're going to be able to get addressed through public transit. You know, we don't, there's not going to be expansion money, or if there is, it's going to be really limited, and it's going to have to be well documented. And once or twice a month is not going to get us the few expansion dollars that are going to be out there. So I don't want to put a pin in anybody's bubble here, but I want us to be realistic about what the solution to this is.
Helen, this is Natalie. I think I heard Karen mention at the beginning of the presentation that she realizes that we're not going to be able to serve everyone, because those outlier ones where it's just a few times a month, I think we all realize it's not going to make sense. But where is the highest need and where is the potential to improve? That's kind of what I'm seeing out of this.
Right. And one of the things that we keep hearing that the need is out there. We got to find it. And that's one of the things that we're going to be pushing really hard with the CMCOA money that we're going to be trying to do in those rural areas. We have got to present a case of need that proves that it's going to be worthy for that money to come in. We hear that they're out there. We hear all the time that they're out there. It's how are we going to get connected to these people and get them to actually use the service when it's there.
Right. And that's why we want to work this very step by step. And we're not looking to really make any huge changes in anything like building a building or anything like that. But if a person was aware that they could get to Malacca by starting out on Timber Trails, they would schedule a service on Timber Trails to get to Bach, or not Bach, Ogilvie, to be dropped off at the Dollar General. And we had permission from whoever needs to have been given permission to for TRICAP to come in and pick those people up at the Dollar General and take them to Malacca.
Right.
I mean, it would be just a location and the opportunity to be able to do it. And that's just a starting point. So if we find that it's used, great, but I just think we just want to open the door a little bigger. So,
well, like I said, this information is great. I'm this is figures that I love to see, that there's people out there. Let's just get them connected up, like what you're trying to do. I'm just a little concerned about numbers.
I get it. I know. It's a reality. I know.
Yeah.
I'm going to go way back up here to did I stay within? No, I didn't. Dag nabbit. Okay. All right.
Karen, Marlis has another question.
Okay. Good.
On that question, I just wanted to comment also on the concern about return on the investment. I recognize that it's like any business model. When you're starting off, you're going to have to start small, make it justifiable, and market and grow it. I truly believe that the demand, especially for the seniors, is far greater than what our survey is revealing right now.
Yeah, and I haven't spoken to really anyone that has said that, when we've had our one-on-one conversations, I said, no, I take public service and I'm fine just staying in my little area. Everybody wants to be able to go further. And I guess, these surveys can only go so far. It's tough to get enough information because people don't like to fill out surveys. So
Yep, Karen, this is Mark in Anoka County. I was going to say something along those lines as well. This is assuming So I'll just back up a little further. So TCAPs that we're a part of and RTCCs, we're part of the let's see what we can do party, I guess. And so I appreciate your survey results, Karen, because I think it will start the conversation just as we've had about trying to get somebody from Cambridge and, you know, Isani and Chisago counties into Anoka County. So we're kind of starting that framework. And as far as, you know, the two people want 2 trips a month. Well, this survey didn't reach everybody. It didn't get at the full need, which I'm sure we all are aware of. But yeah, so anything that we'll do is to kind of get that framework in place and to grow the services. So we'll just you know, we'll see where things head.
Yeah, so glad to have you working on this with us. Yeah, I think it's so important that your arms are open to this idea, and because people want to get down to the Twin Cities, and once they hit Anoka County, they pretty much, the world's their oyster down there. So
this is Marlis again. I just wanted to comment further that I kind of suspect we're all kind of operating in silos. We operate and think about just our territory. And if we start getting outside the box and think about partnerships amongst these organizations, you know, I'll just throw out one example. Just because you pick up an individual and take them to point A doesn't mean that another organization can't pick them up in their territory and get them back home again. Those kind of partnerships and thinking outside of our normal operations, I think is going to be what's really important for us to get something better started and then continue to evolve and figure out better efficient operations.
This is Michelle at MnDOT. One of the things that in order for projects to ever move forward, there has to be just starting this conversation of the baseline and building of need and evidence. So, and I think that that's probably where we're at right now, to get more comprehensive surveys or input, and to take that to the next level, whether it's through a grant or bringing on some more research. We have to start with this very important building block that has already happened with this surveying. So it's a momentum thing.
thanks, Michelle.
Barbara, did you have a question?
I did, Karen. I just wanted to mention, I saw on the slide there, one of the greater needs for Mille Lacs County was going from Malacca to Princeton and to and from. We do that now with our new service. We've been doing that almost a year. So that piece of it, there is transportation. So just wanted to mention that.
I appreciate you mentioning that. I don't have the newer map. And so, and I know you don't either, because it just hasn't happened yet. But I know you guys are doing great doing the expansion down to Princeton and Elk River, right?
Yes. Yep. So
excellent. Yeah.
Yep.
Good. Well, now I'd like us to be able to move on and have each of our transit systems talk a little bit about what's new, what's going on with them. So I have a few people from TRICAP on here. Whoever wants to talk about it, you know, Barbara, if you want to talk about it. And I know that Tammy was going to have you say a few things for her. Do you want to start us out?
I do. I'll start with Tammy's answering phones today as well, so she's multitasking. So for the volunteer driver program, our ride count was in 2022, it was 8,460 rides. For 2023, we came out with 11,602 rides. It's a 37% increase. Our goal for 2023 was 30% increase, so we're thrilled that we went above and beyond that. We also just recently purchased 3 minivans, and our goal is to find 20 volunteer drivers who will take 3 or 4 hour shifts to provide rides in the St. Cloud area, as well as longer trips that originate from St. Cloud. We just started this project, but so far we've got 2 volunteer drivers lined up. And in 2023, We more than doubled our volunteer driver pool that use their own vehicle, and we now have 36 full-time drivers. We're continuing with our recruiting efforts, but we still have a need for more drivers in the Elk River and St. Cloud area.
Excellent.
And Rhonda actually has the public transit update, but she stepped out. So I can tell you, we did receive 4 buses that were just waiting on the DOT inspection and approval to get them on the road. So that's exciting news for us. And that's about it. We're continuing with the new service that we implemented in 2023 with the same service that we started with. So we're continuing that into 2024.
Wonderful. Good to hear all of this great news. Good job. Thank you very much. I'd like to talk to you further another time, but we need to have a little meeting about what's happening down with TriCap and with the how you're handling your volunteer drivers and such. So, well, we'll set that up another time. But thanks, Barbara. I have Brandon next on the list. Would you like to discuss anything that's going on with Arrowhead Transit, Brandon?
Karen, Brandon had to leave for another meeting.
Oh, crap. Do we have nobody from Arrowhead here?
I don't think so.
Oh, bummer. Okay. Well, Helen, you had mentioned some information about a CMCOA grant. Did you get a Live Well at Home grant? Okay, let's talk about that.
Okay, update on public transit first. It's the end of the year, so we're working really hard to get the things closed out and do a comprehensive system checklist. So we have time with our MnDOT project managers where we go over all of the things to make sure that we're compliant with everything. So we'll have end of year numbers and stuff like that starting to come out here in January. It's a process. What I wanted to share that we're really excited about, given everything that we've talked about here, we did receive funding from CMCOA for some transportation in areas in Kanabec County that are outside the bus service zone. So we're looking really hard at that north end of Kanabec County and over, and also then west of 47. That's kind of an empty area out there. And so this project is designed specifically to meet the needs of folks in that area. It's for older individuals, 60 years and over. It's a registered service. And so we're in the process now of figuring out how we're going to make that happen. We've already gotten a couple of phone calls from folks who want to start the registration process. So we're really excited about that. Older individuals with the greatest social need, including physical and mental disabilities, language barriers, cultural, social, or geographic isolation. And this is, we really want to meet those, the needs of those individuals at risk for institutional placement. We will be using vans that are owned by Kanabec County. They will be driven. We're in the process of finding some volunteers to drive the county vans. Otherwise, we're going to use some staff. We don't have a huge budget, but this is a strong effort to crack this egg and find out who these people are out there and get them riding. The big thing that I want us to take away from this with regard to public transit is, if we can use this service to prove the need, right there's our documentation to apply to MnDOT for the expansion dollars to do it. So it is a small grant to run the calendar year of 2023. We're in the process of putting everything together. Kathy Bursky and I are going to be at KBEC on Friday morning doing an interview about this to kind of get the word out and And this is where we hit the pavement, folks. We need people to call in and access and let us prove that the need is there.
Helen, what's the service area for this program?
It is
Do they have to-
Kanabec County
Within the county?
outside the public transit area.
Okay,
And it's to bring those folks into Mora. This isn't a service that would take them, down to the cities or to St. Cloud or anything like that. This is rural Kanabec into Mora and back home. And there is nobody's going to be turned away, but we've got a suggested recommended cost share of $10 per ride.
okay. And you said 2023, but you meant 2024 calendar
You're
year.
right. You're absolutely right. It is 2024.
Helen,
Sorry about that.
Helen, this is Natalie. I know it said you said you and Kathy are going to be doing a radio interview. If you have any outreach like flyer material on it or ready for it when you do, could you be sure to send it my way? Because that's part of what I do, is just helping to get the word out.
Sure. As soon as we get all the details worked out, right now we're getting started with the registration process.
Okay, sounds good.
Same with us,
Thanks.
Helen. We're happy also to
I will
promote that
get
far
you
and wide.
everything. We've got a really small budget for this, so but you betcha I will get out to you what we put together.
And I live in Ogilvie, so I could promote in my community.
That would be wonderful.
I'm like a mile west of 47.
Oh yeah,
so there you
you're
go.
in that area.
Yeah.
You're in that area. We had a call. A child had suffered a broken leg and they were outside we tried everything we could think of, but there was just no way to do it from out there. And this service wouldn't have met that need too, but that west of 47 area, we've had some interest from out there.
I got two questions. One, is the van ADA accessible?
No.
Okay.
These will not be accessible vehicles.
Okay.
Unless we can prove there's enough of a need out there, then I'll go back, and I've got some reserve money that I would go back to the board and say, here, we've got 14 requests in 3 months for service in this area. We need to get a disabled van. And none of this is going to go back to MnDOT until, I can't use MnDOT money to run that accessible van. This program has to kind of stand on its own with support from what Timber Trails can do it outside of the public transit funding.
Okay. And then with your radio interview, would it be possible for us to get, would you and Kathy talk about whether or not it's all right for you to share that video, or have Robin share that video with us so that we can actually turn it into a YouTube video that we can put on our website?
Okay, I will definitely bring it up when we see Robin in the morning. It's a live one, so I don't know if there's gonna be a recording. I don't know, but I'll reach out to Robin here today and see if we can do something about that.
Excellent, because we'd like to have that, and maybe we would do another radio interview with the two of you, or one of you, or whatever.
We would like that.
Yeah,
Again, my
get
biggest fear here is, how do we get connected? Literally, the folks that we're talking about are outside of even the Kanabec County Times area, So yeah, we need to get up there.
Okay, well, let us.
We have a question in the chat. Jessica's asking Helen, who should they contact if someone wants to register for rides?
Right now they should call Timber Trails at 320-364-1350. What we're doing right now is compiling a list of everybody. And once we're cleared with the details on the registration process, we've got an intake form that we'll use, and then we'll connect back with everybody and get them registered.
Say that number again.
320-364-1350. That's just the general dispatch number for Timber Trails.
I'm putting that in the chat for everyone too, so.
Good, okay, because I was trying to write and talk at the same time.
That's hard. Chewing gum and walking is hard, but writing and talking, geez. Okay.
And Kurt from the Kurt Kalk is asking, is that the service area reflected on the previous map for Kennebec County?
Yes, it is. That area in
Okay,
pink is the service
perfect.
area. So
Thank
the
you.
area that this is going to serve is within Kennebec County lines outside the pink area. This is it. I mean, we didn't hit the jackpot mega millions on this project, but it's a start.
Yeah, it's a great start.
It is. Good job. Okay, so I don't think Kelly, oh, wait. There is Angela. Are
Angela.
you, yeah, are you
Mhm.
here? Would you like to do a little update with us about what's going on at Attaboys? Is she still here?
I think so. Yep. Just give her a second, maybe.
We can come back to her too.
She's on the phone and so has her mic off, but I know works in the dispatch office, so she may be on another call.
Okay, we'll come back. I know that,
oh, there she is.
Oh, it was me. Okay. I wasn't sure who you were asking for. I was on the phone.
yeah, would you like to give us an update, Angela?
So our business is still doing just as much business as we were before. There's a lot of northern rides up in the Duluth St. Louis County area that we're trying to fill. There's very few applicants up there that are getting qualified for jobs to work for us. So we're still trying to find as many qualified drivers as we can. That's the goal lately, the biggest hurdle that we're trying to overcome. But yeah, otherwise it's more business than we can handle down here in Pine County and in the more calls coming in for the Chisago County area as well. We do try to accommodate some of those out there in Taylor's Falls and Lindstrom and that area too. So it's expanding down in that area more so too. So yeah, it's a growing business. It looks like they're becoming more and more comfortable as a team. Our team of drivers is doing a lot better together, and it's really benefiting our community pretty well, I think.
Awesome, Angela. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I invited, well, first of all, Jill Brown or the NLX group will not be here today because I really don't have much to update on, but we are in touch with Jill Brown, who is their PR person. And at our March meeting, we are planning on focusing on NLX information. And we'll be inviting public officials and staff to come to the meeting to ask questions and hopefully have some folks from the Railroad Commission from MnDOT at the meeting to answer questions, and folks from our RDC who are along the rail line and other people that are along the rail line. I would like it to be public officials who are getting questions from their constituents rather than a huge mass of people, because we need to have some kind of order here. And we'll do it via Zoom as far as I know. So that's kind of where our March meeting's going to go. I just wanted to let everybody know that. And then lastly, Nick Winings is from Blue Earth Taxi, and we met Nick at the ILT Academy, and he is got some great things going on in his area, and I'd like to introduce Nick to everybody. Hi, Nick. Good to see you again.
Hi.
It's been a while.
Hi.
You want to talk a little bit about what you've got going on where you're at and what your plans are, and whether you'd be planning on coming up into our area, or what do you got going on?
Yeah, for sure. Am I coming through good?
You're echoey a little bit, but I think you're okay.
I just bought this new microphone because
it's
I'm
fine.
trying
It's actually
to
quite
be
clear.
cool. Okay, perfect. I'm Nick Whining. I'm co-founder of Blue Earth Taxi. And like right now, we're working on a project that helps bringing rural people into big cities. And I'm actually going back to the ILT like program in the next 2 weeks here to expand my transportation business into a rideshare company. I found out through DOT that I can do a ride share that is an NEMT program. So our goal then is to fill that gap that everybody's been talking about. Every county in our whole state is talking about this. How there's a lack of transportation and a lack of ADA like compliant vehicles. So we are already kind of launching our program in the Meeker County and Caney, Ohio area. We're based out of Mankato, and it is my goal in the next 12 months to be further up north in the Stearns County area, and maybe even farther, even like further up. I have a stuttering like problem that comes out of nowhere, so I apologize.
Don't
I'm
worry
not
about it.
stroking or like my screen isn't freezing. So, but yeah, so doing our rideshare program is where drivers are going to be able to use their own vehicle, and then we launch our app in March 1st. And I'm super excited about that because our app is going to be exactly like Uber, if not better. I'm kind of biased, right? So of course, I think it's going to be better, and that will allow the consumer to order their transportation service if it's a wheelchair, if it's a common carrier. It will kind of be that Uber for the rural area, because take like Meeker County, for example. I would guess that whole county is probably 40,000 people. So there would be no reason for Uber to go there. Like it's a small county. Therefore, other people are kind of suffering. Like they can't get to their doctor's appointments, jobs, so on and so forth. So we are going to be there to fill that need. So if anybody has any questions about that, I'm trying to expand as much as possible. I bought my business in 2018, and like we only had 2 cars. Today we're at grand total of 15, and we're growing. So it's definitely my goal to be in the whole state in 5 years. Everybody thinks it's crazy, but I think I can do it. So
I think you can do it too.
yeah,
Nick, did you put your information in the chat so that
I
if
can.
anybody, yeah, would you just your email, your name and the name of the company and phone number, if anybody wants to reach out to you, that'll be there. And I think that people are able to save the chat. If you're not able to, I will have a copy of it. So everybody will be able to have all that great information that's in there. Thank you, Nick.
No problem.
Would anybody like to say anything, any comments, any questions to anything we've talked about or anything we can talk about? Just wondering, you know, anybody have anything you want to interject, mention? Well, in that case, then, Michelle, would you have anything that you would like to say? I don't see Tom on the call here. Did I miss him? I have 2 pages of people. I don't
He's
think.
not here.
Okay, so Michelle, do you have anything you'd like to add, or otherwise we can close up the meeting?
If I'm between giving people an extra 10 or 15 minutes of a day and adding comments, nothing at this time. but I think a meeting as robust as this, we sort of see how things are connected to each other. The work that is coming through the Older Americans Act and the Title III that's working in Kanabec County, how that kind of leverages one thing to the next. For all of you in this meeting, if coming together here is part of building that structure towards a solution, and everybody here is a contributor to that solution, this isn't an opportunity to find out, like what, here we found out the answer today, we're done. It's always building towards the solution, working the solution, and then growing that solution. So this was really representative of that today. And I want to acknowledge all those efforts. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, with that, and thank you all for being here today. Oh, Marlis, hello.
Yeah, I just wanted to emphasize, I know you'd put out there for everybody to put their contact information in the chat, and I've been kind of looking back. I'm not seeing a whole lot, but I would definitely like to have contact information for everyone. I'm taking notes. I have a lot of follow-up that I'd like to do, especially with Michelle from MnDOT. If I can get your email and phone number, they'd be fantastic.
I'll put that in the chat right now.
Excellent. And everybody, if you wouldn't mind, just put that in there. Your name, your organization, your email and phone number. We can just hold off for here a second until everybody gets a chance to do that. And then it'll all be there for anybody to look at.
Most people put their name and organization, but there was no contact information. So if you have a minute and can put a phone number or an email, that would be great. Otherwise, we have everyone's email, so we could send out a compilation of that as well.
That would be great, because now they're flying through so fast, I can't even jot them all down fast enough. So Karen, could you organize all these contacts and email it?
Yeah, I can do that.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Okay, well, I'm gonna stay on here until everybody's gotten done. But you all have a wonderful rest of the day today. Great weekend. Most of us have Monday off, so it's like, yay! So have a great holiday, and we'll be in touch about the next meeting coming up, which is on March 14th. At 9 again, and I have us going until 10:30 because we have this big NLX thing we're going to talk about. And you can see at the bottom too, the next meetings after that are May and July. And yeah, anything else I missed? I think we're good. Thank you very much, everybody, and have a great couple months.